All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the Book of Briana, a podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Briana Whiteside, and y'all, we are quickly ending May. May said you won't hold me. May said I'm going to head on out of here, and we are swiftly approaching to June. And as we're ending the womanhood focus this month, I decided to bring you all a special guest. Here's what you've seen her before. You didn't know you saw her before. You saw her before. And if you participated in the Let There Be challenge last year, she was the person who was like, "Hey, Briana girl, let me tell you about this challenge." You heard her testimony for the Let There Be challenge, but I'm going to let her introduce herself to you all. I want you all to welcome my special guest, Talaya. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Talaya, tell the people who you are. Tell them a little bit about you.
Oh man. I'm Talaya. I'm a fashion designer and an author. I hail from Central Florida, known
Okay.
as Polk County. I've been designing now for 13 years. I'm
Wow.
the oldest on both sides. So I
Wow.
have like five brothers, maybe three sisters. So it's a blended family on
Really?
both sides. And
Okay.
I'm down for my people. When you with me, you gonna cry, you gonna laugh, and we're gonna create all day.
Where do you fall at in the line of age?
I'm the oldest. I'm the
Okay, that
oldest.
makes sense. That makes sense. One oldest to the other oldest. That makes sense. 100. So you got
Yeah,
that big sister energy.
I do, but they don't treat me like I'm the big sister. Because the boys gang up on me. And that's
Okay.
the problem.
Okay. They the drama. They the
They the
drama.
drama. I just be
Okay.
living my life. They really the problem.
So you a fashion designer, you from Florida. Tell us how you got into fashion design.
2005,
Okay.
Mableton, Georgia. It was
Mhm.
the summer of 2005. I was going into junior high. And one night, you know how like when you're a little kid, you stay up all night and you're like, well, I'm gonna stay up all night. I ain't gotta go to sleep. It's the summer. So
Yeah.
that was what I was on. And then I heard my mom getting ready for work. And so I snuck in her room and I literally just saw her plan out her suit, do her hair. She had the little rape comb, she put her jewelry on. And then I looked down at the end of her bed. It was an ottoman. And you remember Jet magazine, all of that. It was just spread out. And I was like, I want to make clothes for me and my mama
Wow.
to be on
Wow.
the cover of magazines. I was 10 years old. And my
Wow.
mom thought it was like, just how little kids are like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor or a lawyer. No, I always said from age 10, I'm going to move to LA. I'm going to school for fashion design, and I'm going to be a world renowned fashion designer.
Wow. And you did that.
And I'm doing
That's
it. I'm
amazing.
doing
You know, it's so funny because, when I talk about me being a teacher, I knew I wanted to do that in second grade around kind of like the same age as you. And so it's amazing how you was like, no, this is what I want to do. And this is what we're going to do. This is the plan. There is no plan B for real. I really love
it.
what I do.
Yeah. I
I
told
love
my mom, I said, if I can't go to school for fashion, then y'all may worry about how I make my money. So you gonna let me go and we gonna have to fix something out. So her thing was, baby, whoever comes back with the best payment plan, that's where we're going. And LA was the answer.
Well, we thank God for making a way because Black people. I need to stay off TikTok because that little sound is in my head. I want to talk about how we got here. We have not known each other long. We
Yeah.
have not known each other long. You knew of me before I knew of you.
Yeah.
And tell us how you came into awareness of me.
My cousin, 2022, when you did the Let There Be challenge, my cousin sent me the video on TikTok, and that's when you had your hair. And I told you, I was like, dang, she got a lot of hair. And we
Yeah,
had
I do.
went back and forth about your hair, trying to figure out what products you use. And I was like, I'm gonna just go in a rabbit hole to see what she put on her hair. But then the challenge, I was like, well, let me just try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And not just the warfare, but when I sat down for 4 hours trying to come up with 40 different decrees, I was like, this is touching on something I didn't know existed in me. So I just began following you. And then around the Kingdom Builders Challenge, I was like, I think I'm supposed to serve her. I don't know when. I don't know. I'm a little scared. So I'm going to just leave it alone.
Yeah.
And then I finally was like, let me obey and reach out and just see
Yeah.
what's up.
It's so funny because the to Let There Be challenge was a challenge that wasn't supposed to be a challenge, right? And I always tell people that 2022 was not planned. I was like, this is what I'm doing and y'all should do it too. And then it turned into algorithm on TikTok. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a thing. And we did the second one last year. And I remember, and I still didn't realize who was in the challenge or anything. And then I think we were gearing up for 2023 and you made a comment on a TikTok video. Right? I don't remember what the comment said. No, you told me a testimony or something, right?
I think I did. I think I told you all but two came
Okay.
to pass. So we were gearing up for the 2023 challenge. And then I left a comment and then you said, send me a video. And I was like, I don't want to.
First of all, I didn't even know this girl. And I was like, can you send me a video?
Okay. Then I re-recorded the video several times because I'm like, I just wanted to be quick, but it didn't work like that.
And it was fantastic because I had a lot going on in 2023 and I was like, I'm not even feeling no promo. And when you did that, I was like, I think she's supposed to do a video. And I think you were the only video response that we had because it was just in that moment, ask her, could she do this thing? And you did it. And I was like, wow. I was sitting, first of all, I said, this girl got some amazing skin. I was out there like, dang, she got some good skin on that video. But then when I got past, the aesthetic, I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. And, I dropped the video, on YouTube, on my Instagram. It was so helpful to the challenge. And in the back of my mind, I said, we're supposed to be connected. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know when. I'm not going to say nothing. So at this point, you hadn't said anything to me other than sent me the video. I hadn't said anything to you. Fast forward, you say something to me.
Look at God. Look at that for baby.
You shoot me an email like, hey, basically, do you need any help with anything? Basically, in short and form. And I was like, yes, let me tell you when, right? Yes, absolutely. And, it was right on time because, everyone knows I'm transitioning. I have so many other things happening in my life. And I'm like, I'm about to drop a lot of stuff if you don't send me Destiny helpers. And so you were the third helper in everything, right? So I have someone helping me with the blog. I have Nikki did the Let There Be journal. And y'all have seen Nikki on the podcast and stuff like that. And then you were the third helper. And I was like, because you knew, God, I cannot do this. I can't record these videos. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. How did you feel? Because you did offer your assistance. So how did you feel? Did you struggle with offering your assistance or reaching?
Because I love to help. And I'm at a place now where I understand that there's a difference between helping and people pleasing. So I was struggling because I was already battling with that. And it was struggling like, well, I just don't want to make sure let me check my motives first.
Yeah.
But I kept just feeling like I'm supposed to help her. And then it was a thing of like, Lord, you already know what I got going on over here. You sure? This is an extra step. But when I came aboard, it was like, okay, yeah, I was supposed to do this.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I understand the struggle because in the email she was like, I'm not trying to get on your platform. I'm not trying to clout chase, girl. Like, just let me know. And I was like, no, I didn't think that. And then I responded, no, we were supposed to connect. I wasn't sure how, but give me some time to figure out what I need from you. Vein of transparency, y'all. If y'all on my mailing list, just subscribe to the mailing list at BrianaWhiteside.com. We'd love to have you over there on our Insiders Club. But Talaya writes the emails. So every time y'all get an email now, this is Talaya using her kingdom gifts.
And I be tarrying. Baby, I be tarrying.
And they're amazing. When I first saw your first email, I was like, oh, she good. Let me ease on back because I'm not a micromanager anyway. I'm like, here's the idea. This is what I think. Go ahead. Right. We'll talk about it if something is wrong. But you came aboard at a very crucial time. You were so helpful. And this leads us into the topic for today, which is we're better together. We are better together. And when I think about women, I feel like there's a war on women. individually, but also relationally, right? In a previous podcast, Nikki and I were talking about friends, and a lot of women don't have girlfriends. I don't do women, I don't like women, and it's just like, and all women are not like that. What are your thoughts on being better together?
Of course, we are better together. I do believe that pride keeps us from coming together, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we've bought into this self-made culture, and unfortunately, it bled from a professional realm to a relational realm to a spiritual realm. And it's like, we got to be careful with what we're buying into because we're missing out on what we really, really need and what's really ours. And I believe that sometimes our blessings are held up because we're not connected to the right people.
Not connected. We're just not connected. And I love that you said that, because I was thinking about how so many doors have opened for me when I was connected to somebody. It doesn't mean that they were far ahead of me or anything. They were my peers, but they had something I needed, right? And it is us knowing that God does not think we should be alone. And in the beginning, it's not good for you to be alone. Not this man, but man, period. And so in the previous podcast episode, I was like, well, Jesus ain't enough. And I know that's controversial, but he not. Because you need these relationships. I'm being respectful, but am I lying though?
No.
Tell me if I'm lying.
You're not. I just had that conversation with somebody. I told him, I said, I hear a lot of people say, I don't do people. I don't like people. And I'm just like, but you're a person. Like, do you not like you? And then the more and more I kept like sitting with it, I'm like, God, this ain't right. Like, we need people to do life. And I think what it is, people confuse seasons with lifetimes. And sometimes we're afraid to say, I just don't want the season to end with the person I'm connected to. So I don't really want to connect for real because I know it won't last long. But you don't know until you try. I'm gonna let that sit right there.
You won't know until you try. And I don't want to, what did you say? I don't want the season to end?
I don't want the season to end. So you're afraid to even try. I've been there. I'm guilty of it.
Same. And it's horrible because sometimes we just stagnate our own lives because we're not connected to the people that we should be doing life with. I'm not talking about ministry work or work at home, or whatever. I'm talking about life, destiny, friends. Destiny friends. And I remember, going on the topic of friendship, I remember like the season God had me in, that desert season, that ghetto 5 years. 5 years of getting a taste slapped out my mouth every year, back to back to back. I'm just now coming out of it. This year 6, right? So I'm about to walk into the greatest season of my life. I'm claiming that. But I remember losing majority of my friend group, because there is a season where God gonna isolate you to show you, to get you together. Sometimes you the drama. I was a drama in a lot of situations, but then in other situations, we were just not going on the same path, right? We were together for a specific season because we were doing the same stuff. And then whether it be career, we enjoy the same activities, whatever. And then when your appetite starts changing, or they get married, I'm the single friend, we grow apart, right? And then I remember just asking God, like, can you please send me destiny friends? Can you please send me kingdom friends, like-minded people, at least? Like, we don't have to be on the same journey, but we need to be on similar ones that matter. Who you have in your life matters. So let me ask you this. On a topic of better together, how have your relationships shifted over time as you've gotten closer to God?
I'm pausing because the past 6 or 7 months, I've noticed that I've been praying for friends, but I've been rejecting them.
Okay. Talk about
having had experienced betrayal.
Okay.
And not knowing, having experienced betrayal relationally and trying to navigate and look at both parties and really not knowing how, like just wanting to know, how did this happen? Like, we could have avoided all of this on both parts, where it had me misperceiving the people who had been present since childhood that I'm still friends with. And then the new people who were trying to come in to say, I want to love on you, open up and let me be there. Like, I had one of my girlfriends, she told me that I was preparing for New York Fashion Week and she said, you're not vulnerable. And I was like, girl, yes, I am. I be crying all the time. I'm like, what you mean? She was like,
Yeah.
no, you need to open up and you need to let us be there for you because we want to love on you too. And I
Wow.
just boo-hoo cried. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
God, my prayers have been answered, but I'm rejecting them because I've been so afraid to
Mhm.
experience betrayal again. Going
Yeah.
back to that season ending because I was connected to beautiful people, but I didn't walk away when the season was supposed to end because I didn't want to be alone.
Mm. So what I'm hearing you say is that since you stayed
Mm-hmm.
connected longer, you experienced something that you may not have had to experience had you been
Mm-hmm.
willing to let go of the friend of the season.
Yep.
That's heavy. That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
You're speaking and you said what your girlfriend said to you, you're not vulnerable and things like that. Like it reminds me of a recent conversation I had with one of my girlfriends we went to undergrad together, but we didn't develop a relationship until grad school.
Mm-hmm.
But we've continued it on past grad school. And she said, I realized in some of the conversations we've been having recently that I really don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been friends for such a long time because we move out of layer 2 and layer 1. And layer 1 is your core people. Layer 2 is
Mm-hmm.
the people who you still trust. They're just not core. And she was vulnerable enough to have the conversation and say, I don't know you. So I'm making snap judgments about certain things. And it makes me feel like I may be capturing you in the way that people on social media capture you. But I've experienced you in person and I know you and you show up and I consider you a great friend and a trusted person, but I don't know you like that. And I said, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know me. You are absolutely correct. And I said, I realized you didn't know me because we were having some conversations about dating. And she asked me a question and I said something about, I don't remember what the topic was, but I think it was something about accommodation or something. And she went in on accommodation. And I was like, girl, like, relax, like this ain't that deep. But when we debriefed about the conversation, she was like, I didn't understand where you were coming from because I don't really know you. Like I have this perception of you, but I
Mm-hmm.
know you because you're my friend, but I don't know you because it's like there's a barrier here. And I said, we do move in and out of layer 1 and layer 2 with each other. And I said, I'm open to going deeper, right? I'm open to going deeper. And it's so funny because, everyone knows I'm transitioning out of Korea. And I'm like, girl, I told you what's going on. This is what's going on, right? When I say I ain't got it, I'm struggling. I don't, this is what's happening. I feel like I'm letting you in, but I also understand like, no, you just recently saw me cry for the
Mm-hmm.
first time. You just saw me cry. You just heard me hurt for the
Mm-hmm.
first time. And I was like, I didn't realize that I was keeping you at bay.
Yeah.
And I had to apologize. And I'm like, because I'm the friend of the marriage. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I respected her ability to be vulnerable to say, I want more from this friendship because
Yeah.
I value it. And I don't think sometimes we all have the courage to say, hey, I kind of want more from this. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I think we should do life together. I like
Mm-hmm.
you. And even if it's not life, we should at least do a season or a few seasons if God would allow.
Right.
And, that leads me back to your comment about we're just not open to it.
Yeah.
We're just not open to it. Go ahead.
And I think we bought into, I don't know if you've seen this whole low maintenance versus high maintenance. I feel like that's really stupid. Like the low maintenance relationships versus high maintenance
Oh,
relationships.
yeah.
That's the problem. And I think when it comes to just connection, we think that connection comes without effort.
Mm,
You still have to be intentional to stay connected. That it just is what it is. You do it in your intimate relationship. So why isn't the friendship just as important?
you do.
If the romantic relationship doesn't work out, who are you going to go to if you're
No.
not being intentional with
Yeah.
your friends?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I understand we all have our lives, we all move, of course. But I think when people think about high maintenance friendships, they think about, oh, she's calling me all the time, or we have to hang out all the time. That's not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like what you said, I need a safe space to go to be vulnerable. But if everything I'm doing is considered high maintenance, then naturally that's putting up a barrier and preventing somebody else. And now I got to work through this trauma to try to connect to somebody else.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's a lot.
And I think that as we're talking about friendships, I didn't realize we were going to be leaning into friendships today. But as I think about navigating friendships, one of the triggers, and I tell people this often when I'm in friendship relationships, the worst thing you could say is, I don't have anything to offer this relationship. Because so many people have said that. Because I think I'm a big capacity person and I'm a low maintenance, if we want to use that language. I don't need a lot. But what I do need. And so when generally when people come into my circle, friends, and we're developing friendships and they see I have a lot to offer, they feel like their offer isn't good enough. And I'm like, I need your offer. Like your offer, if you're present, if you know what I'm saying? Like there are things that I do need from my friends. And if you look, sometimes I just need to kiki and just go off for I just need 5 seconds without judgment. So when people do try to enter into my sphere, and I allow them, and then they start backing up because they don't feel like they got nothing to offer. That's a sore spot for me. That's a sore spot. Yeah. And so it leads me to be like, God, like, why you make me so self-sufficient then if people if people don't want to be my friend for real?
You know what it is?
What?
And I read this book. It's called Relational Intelligence. When it comes to, and I think friendship goes into the topic of, better together, because a lot of us don't want to accept the fact that every human being longs for acceptance and connection. We don't want to accept that because it's like, don't seek acceptance.
Yeah.
Baby, naturally you want to acceptance. 100%. A woman brought you into this world, so connection brought you into this world.
Ooh,
somebody good. Made you, so connection brought you into this world.
That's good.
Some of us, we lean heavily fast into the friendship phase, not realizing for believers, some people are only assignments and they don't have it to give back to you. But I think because we kind of operate sometimes from that space that is longing for that acceptance and that connection, we miss the fact that, oh, this is just an assignment. Let me guard my heart because I know how I am naturally as a person. So when they walk away or they don't give anything back, I did my part, Lord. Now I need my community to pour into me right now because this part of me is being triggered. Because I know I have to let this person walk away because I was only supposed to pour in, not receive from. And I had to learn that lesson the hard way. And when I finally got it, it was just like, okay.
It's good. We good. You got what you needed. Yeah. And so it's so funny because they remove themselves. And I'm like, I was good. Yeah. But maybe you weren't good. And it comes down to like how we see ourselves, right? Yeah. If you don't see yourself as having something to offer someone, right? And you see them as higher than you or having more than you in some way, you're going to diminish your value naturally, right? And I don't want anyone to do that, whether you're connected to me or not. Do not diminish your value. Everyone has something to add to someone's life. There is a missing piece that they need, and we may not really understand the missing piece up front, but you stick around long enough, you see, hey, this person, I really needed this person in this season during this time. And we were great together. This was a mutual relationship, and mutual looks different. Mutuality looks different. It looks different. You give from your capacity, they give from their capacity, but you meet in the middle. And you could never tell someone that you don't have anything to offer them if they're not saying that to you. Because maybe your offer is just your presence.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that comes from people placing their worth and their identity on the tangible. And to be honest, a lot of us, and I've been guilty of it, we go into connection selfishly. We don't want to admit it because it's like, well, it's not professional, it's not business related, so I'm just going in. No, you're going in selfishly.
Yeah.
Because if you go in open, the first encounter kind of let you know, do I want to continue to get to know this person? Do I want to continue to be connected? Or was I supposed to connect this person to somebody else? And they just needed me to be the gateway.
So what I hear you say is you need to do your due diligence.
Pretty much. Look at them red flags.
You need to do your due diligence.
Yeah.
Because the world is getting very scary.
Yeah.
And we are in that era of self-service, right? Or what the Bible say, people will be lovers of themselves. I don't like when I see this on internet because if this doesn't serve me, everything is not going to serve you.
Girl.
It's not. Sometimes serving God don't serve you. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know, right? Sometimes
Inconvenient.
okay, period. Every day. Every day I wake up like, here we go again. And his name is glorified, right?
Right.
But everything is not going to serve you. Everything he asks you to do is not going to serve you. Servanthood is not serving you.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that when we're selfish in that way, and I'm glad you brought that up, selfishness, because when we're selfish in that where we're like me, 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 me. And what if God is sending you there to pour into this person first? So then they could pour into you second. Because there may be a season where you need them. And if you're not clear about the connection, you're going to let it go. Prematurely. You may let the answer to your prayer go prematurely. Because it didn't look like the answer.
Girl. Girl. And you know what it is? Sometimes I'm going to say this, as servants and believers, a lot of us, we go in only to pour.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we kind of miss receiving what we want, because we only have the mindset to go and pour.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're supposed to go just to be open to receive.
Open to receive. Yeah. 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 I love that. Yeah. And even with the idea of servanthood, because I'm thinking about like how you're helping me out. I was helping out a major organization for a year and a half. They're millionaires. Okay. Multi-millionaires now. Helping out behind the scenes, doing what people are helping me do now. And, I remember the year and a half, like, like, God, like, like, when is it my turn? I ain't gonna lie. That's how I was. I was like, I'm using my gifts. I'm serving. I'm doing the things. I like this. This is really great. I'm learning so much behind the scenes, because you do learn a lot about business and how things move when you're close behind the scenes to the business. And so I remember serving and I loved it. But there was a moment when I was like, when is my time, God? Like, your girl been out here trying to make 100 because 99 and I won't do. And I'm saying everyone make 100. And so now I'm in this season of building, right? And God is bringing people to help build this thing that I don't even know what it is, right? Because I don't want y'all to be deceived. I'm not sure what this is that I'm building in this moment. We all out here. Out here. Grateful, because not only did I learn a lot of back knowledge that I probably would have to pay for, that I don't have to pay for now, I'm also grateful that I learned through servanthood how to be a better leader.
Yeah.
Right? How not to micromanage and double down, and how to like I am learning. I learned that. And so in the season where it did not serve me, it's serving me 4 years later.
Yeah.
And that is what I want people to understand. You may not think that it's serving you right now, but you are learning, whether it's overt or covertly, you are learning a lot of lessons that will serve you later, but you got to stay until your time is up.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. That's how it goes. And and that same organization, I went from behind the scenes to in the front of the scenes at some point with them at one point, and ended up getting paid for it. But a year and a half was nothing, but it wasn't about that. It was, and this goes back to my charity teaching that I did on the kingdom. I liked the work that they were doing. I wanted to help support the work. That's how I thought about it. I like this. I like what you're doing. I think it's valuable. Let me offer my gift and talent. I feel like that's the same thing you did with me. I like what you're doing. I didn't know you was good at writing. I didn't know nothing. I'm like, I need her to help me with this. I don't know if she's good or not. We're going to figure it out. And I was like, I see what you did, big dog. I see what you did, because I didn't know. And you did. And I was like, thank you, Lord, because you already know your girl's going to head out. Something was going to stop. And as I'm praying for my destiny helpers and asking for help, he's talking to you, saying, hey, go ahead and reach out to her.
Yeah.
See if she needs help. It's been a slow build for me, right? But, I am grateful for your presence. I know sometimes people see me, y'all, how you meet me is sometimes how people crystallize me in their memory. But I'm grateful that, because I'm benefiting from you. I don't know how to do this stuff. I'm generally, and I'm going to tell y'all on the back behind the scenes of me and Talaya's text conversation. I'm like, what you think about this? It's real stuff though. Hey, because she has a strength that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
I am the natural teacher. All that other stuff, you can miss me with it. I'm not interested in it. I don't understand how it works. I'm still learning. So I literally defer to her and say, what you think about this? I like this idea. We discuss it a little bit, and then we like, all right, we're going to do this at this time. And I learned how to be a better leader serving those folks 4 years ago. And so I don't know why I'm doubling down on this point for somebody who's gonna watch this, but in the moment of where God told you to do something, it is not gonna make sense, and we all know that.
Yeah.
But you don't know what that connection will help you do, or that proximity will help you do in a few months, in a few years. You don't know what the access you will have, and how God can elevate you, because you are what? Using your gifts and talents to serve the kingdom.
Yeah.
Better together. We're back on better together.
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to use them and put them out there, right? Like, I didn't know you were good at what you did. I knew you mentioned fashion in the testimonial. That's all I knew. And I was like, yeah, if I need some clothes, man, I probably is like, hey, I need some clothes. But when you said this is what I'm good at, and I was like, you have to be willing to let us know what you're good at. You can't sit on your gifts and talents.
Girl, that was loaded. The first part, going back to better together and you doubling down on servanthood. For me, in this process of working with you, it was learning how to receive help. That was one of the main points God was driving in for me. So here I am offering help, and you just naturally receiving it and just letting me know where to put me. That's it. And then the other part of it was, there wasn't a thing of me trying to step into your lane and vice versa. And when it comes with being better together, you have to lean into your strengths. That is the only thing that's going to make whatever that connection is be so fruitful and so impactful. If you play your role in layman's terms, stay in your lane. You crossing over, because why? That flesh is kind of creeping up a little bit. It ain't that deep. Stay in your lane. That's it. And I know for me, I remember like maybe the first week I was worried, because I'm like, well, I don't, I'm Lord, you know how I write. And sometimes I get a little angry and it be real direct. And I need you to help me. And you were just like, no. You know my tone of voice. You know how I write. You know how I teach. Just do you. And literally by me doing me, that opened up other doors for me to have other opportunities to use this skill set that I didn't really know was there. I was just using it to journal and write out thoughts and like flesh out poems. But I'm like, oh, okay, it's just what I do for fun. But to just see it open up a door, and nobody on your side knew what I was doing for you, it was like, that's what you want to do.
So he was literally giving you space to practice.
Pretty much.
To open up more opportunities for you to get comfortable. And wow, that's amazing. Because you never know. You never know, y'all. And no one's ever, you just came at the perfect time for me. Like, the life is life, and a lot is happening. But it was amazing. And I want to just remind people that it is through servanthood that you learn leadership.
Yeah.
You learn what not to do. You learn what to do. And you get to learn at a low cost. Because the pressure ain't on you. The pressure is on who's ever in the front. You get to see, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that when it's my turn, or whenever I need to do this thing, or whenever my time is up with this person. I learned a lot. Let me reverse engineer everything I've learned. But you learn a lot of stuff. And I'm not telling y'all to serve to your detriment.
Yeah.
Because that's not part at all. Don't do that. I know we set that hierarchy up in the faith world. It's weird to me. I don't agree. Do not do that. When God says move, you move. you move, you stop. Let it go. Don't matter what nobody else say. When you know the voice of the Lord and you know when God is talking to you, and when you kind of take the word of someone else, you are in disobedience and you're going to have to pay that price. Like Talaya said about the friendship, she should have let go. And I could say it in the men I should have let go in the past.
Girl, we all got a story for that.
Story for days. What I heard someone say, if you don't listen to it, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
If you don't hear it, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
And I learned my lesson. When I heard, I said, okay, I gotta get on that. I don't even want to feel it. Because then you crying, spitting, and farting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amanda Perez, it's been 5 months since she went away.
Okay. God sent me an angel. Girl, that's why you got to get on your Zoom and listen to the Lord. Get on your Zoom. Let it go. Walk away.
Oh my gosh. Literally, no. We don't walk away. We don't walk, or we walk away from the stuff we should not walk away. We walk away prematurely, or we don't walk away. Right. Yeah. And this is why discernment is important. This is why your prayer life is important. This is why you also need to be self-aware. Shameless plug. If y'all want to grab my self-aware ebook, grab it at BrianaWhiteside.com. You need to be self-aware. And even thinking about being better together, I think about temperaments. Everyone has different temperaments. And when I'm thinking about connecting with people or stuff like that, like I know certain temperaments will just not mesh well with me. So I don't even risk it. What you got? You made some faces. What's going on?
You know what? Contrary to popular belief, I think you should.
What?
I think you should. The reason I say this, someone really close to me, I love how just fiery they are. And for me, it takes me getting pushed to a certain point for me to get fiery. But for them, their fire is like, here I am. It just kind of needs to be tuned a little bit. So I think those temperaments are necessary in fine tuning. Those are usually the connections where I believe you need to pretty much exercise what love really is. Patient, kind, doesn't keep.
She said you need to exercise the fruit of the spirit.
You need to exercise it because it's actually necessary. And me and that friend, we've been friends for 10 years.
That's amazing. Yeah. So when I'm thinking about temperament, I'm thinking about when your presence just exhausts me. Your attitude. I'm laid back. And I could go 0 to 100 if I'm pushed a little bit, right? But generally I'm chill. But if your presence overwhelms me, I'm wore out. I can't do it. I can't do it. And maybe that's why I need work, probably.
Yeah.
I probably need work.
Probably just doses.
Doses, yeah.
I'm telling you. Take it in doses.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let the Lord work on me. I'll let him work on me because when I figure out that you finna wear me out.
That's why you have to know right then in this moment. Yeah, when I'm with this person, they get an hour of my time.
Hour of my time.
It's maybe 3 times a quarter. I can't see you all the time, and we can't talk on the phone all the time.
That is so much.
But you are a beautiful person.
Now that I think about it, I do got a friend like that. Yeah. That we don't connect often. It's quarterly, but when we connect, we're on the phone for like half the day. And then I go, okay, so let me retract that. I do got a friend that I have in doses. I do. Yeah. I do. And I love her. But I'm like, whew. Yeah. That's a lot.
Conflict resolution, unfortunately, is something a lot of people lack. Trauma, especially in the Black community, trauma plays a role into that on how you handle conflict. Yeah. Like I mentioned, I was the type of person, it took me to a point. And once I got that point,
I'm on your head.
If I had on earrings, I'm not going back and forth. But that was because growing up, you sweep things under the rug. Yeah. So you don't really know how to handle conflict. And a lot of us, sometimes it has nothing to do with how we grew up. It's just that fear of being rejected. If I speak up, what will I lose? Sometimes that's the first thought you go to versus trying to rectify a situation. Not everybody's like that. Some people are just willing to speak up to rectify the situation. How can we come to a common ground and fix whatever this problem is? Others, I was there at one point, I don't want to lose something, so I'm just going to let it slide. And then it got to that boiling point where I was like, I don't let this slide one too many times. But at this point, I can't be mad at you. I got to be mad at myself.
Because you was already simmering.
Exactly. And I should have opened my mouth to say something. And
now, and they be like, wait, what?
Where did it come from? Well, all I did was say, here, go for it. So, yeah. You
always want that fork, didn't
it? Like, girl.
No, I think that I agree with you. Upbringing, the culture, all of these things. And I think some things could just be avoided, right? Some things can be avoided. But I do also understand the rejection piece, right? I'm going to lose this person. They're going to reject me. We may be fighting, tussling. I don't want to do this. It's all of this stuff. But what I think that we should always understand is every human has a desire, as you mentioned, for connection, for acceptance. And everyone, no matter how big and bad they are, no matter how tough they are, has that soft spot for rejection. No one wants to be rejected. And so it is with understanding and coming to this conversation of that you may have to reconcile things with understanding that this person is a human. We have this basic human needs. Every human has them. God wired us to have them. You come to them as a human being, saying whatever you need to say in love, in love, in love. Don't say it when you're angry. Don't say it when you're angry. But then you can move forward in clarity because they may not even know they hurt your feelings. I remember my mom telling me I hurt her feelings on something. I said something. I was going back and forth with my brothers online. They trolled me. And I said something and my mom was like, yeah, I wanted to address that because we were talking about it. And she was like, yeah, she addressed it. And I was like, she felt a way about what I said. It wasn't even my intention to hurt my mother. But I was like, instead of defending myself, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. And then I corrected myself, apologized to her publicly. It's like, that was not my intention, but it don't matter what my intention was. I still hurt somebody. One of my undergrad professors used to say, because you'd be like, I didn't intend to. And she used to say, the road to hell is paved with people with good intentions.
Ooh.
The road to hell is paved with people with good intentions. It don't matter what you intended to do, is how it landed on this other person. And that matters more than what you intended. That matters. That's for somebody. I don't know who that's for. This conversation is for some very specific people right now. And so we're thinking about, let me ask you this. Did you always have a lot of female friends? Oh, yeah?
With me, what's interesting, although I have a lot of brothers, my family is female heavy. Okay. So I have a lot of girl cousins, and I'm the youngest girl cousin in my generation. So we were always around each other. So female friends, it wasn't a thing for me. Now, some of my close friends, it was like, I don't like her. Like our friendship started off with, I don't like her, and I don't even have a reason. I just don't like her because she always got on them shoes, and I hate them shoes. And now we just the best of friends, and I'm like, what was the point? But when I look back over my life, I've always had female friends. I've had both, just because I did grow up with boys, but I also have a lot of female cousins. So to me, it was the best of both worlds. Yeah. So when I hear people say like I don't do female friendships, I'm like, what happened?
Something happened.
Who hurt you? What did you experience? And not all women are catty.
Not at all.
Not all women want your man. Because me and my friends, but we got two different tastes. Period. And if we don't nobody think like that.
Not at all. We're not trying to J down. We're not trying to do that, my girl.
Yeah.
No, and I love that you said that, because like sometimes when people see me, and I've heard people say this, like, oh, when I saw you, I thought you were stuck up. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, I guess maybe the way I may look or present myself in public, they're like, yeah, you look stuck up. And I'm like, when you have a conversation with me, you're like, I don't take myself seriously. I like it to look good though. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to show out when I go out. But I'm not stuck up. And I think that some people have to get past that perception, because that could be
Mm.
your lens. You're filtering through something you may not be, or that may be some type of insecurity. And you have to literally ask yourself, what is triggering this thought? Because afterward, they're like, I really like you. And I'm like, I like you too. I don't know why you thought I was stuck up. Like, baby, I'm from the hood. Don't let these degrees fool you. I'm from the hood, okay? I ain't got no room to be stuck up. To me, I snatch my wig on and off every night. So, like the rest, it's true. I don't know why I do that. I think because people be thinking like I don't have no hair sometimes, and they don't know, because I'm generally got a wig on until you see me with my natural, and they're like, all that fit under that wig, and I'm like, yes.
It's a lot.
But girl, I snatch my wig off every time.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's something I wanted to say. You mentioned the word insecurity, and this thought came to me.
Okay.
I think to sum it up, what prevents a lot of us from connecting is because unknowingly we lead with our insecurities. So now we're already projecting. And now we've already rejected what we actually wanted, what our insecurity was actually longing for.
We lead with our insecurity. Yes, I would have to agree with you there. We do, whether it's subconscious or on the conscious. So how can we get over that though?
What I'm battling with, I don't want to say battle. Let me watch my words. What I'm coming to accept is that you got to just be. I think most of us, you want to present a certain version of yourself, and like you don't want to let people into certain parts. It's like, I'm not going to let them know that I'm still broken in this area, or I'm not going to let them know like, hey, I actually do know a lot in this area. I just don't want to seem cocky or arrogant. I think if you just allow yourself to be, you can possibly prevent a lot of this projection, a lot of the insecurity, a lot of just assumptions about certain connections. You can prevent it. But many of us, we don't know how to just be.
Just be who you are. You're enough.
Yes.
Full stop. You're enough.
Yeah.
No matter what. God made you enough. You are enough. You are worthy. Period. And it's not. And you know, when I just said worthy, you know, we generally say you're worthy of this, you're worthy. No, you are worthy, period.
Yeah.
Like, full stop. That's a complete sentence. You're worthy, right? Yeah. And I think that, you know, as we journey through life, we do necessarily, we easily have those hiccups, right? But understand that generally what you want you to. I ain't talking about no man though, if you know, if he don't want you. You know what I'm saying?
Don't chase no man that don't want you.
Give them to the Lord. Just let it go. But I'm saying generally the connections you want, the relationship, you're wired to want it for a reason. Yeah. Because God wired you to want it. And he also wired the atmosphere and the people in that place to need a you too. You just have to kind of make it. And when I say place, I'm always talking about like, not only do you have to be ready for what God wants you to do, the next season has to be ready for what he wants you to do. The people you're called to, there has to be an appetite for what you have to offer. Like all of these things have to kind of align to get the big destiny moment that we're all trying to reach. Yeah. So the future wants you to. That future that you're like, I don't know how. It wants you to. That's why you keep moving towards it, because it's like, come on. I can't move back, but you can move forward. So let me lure you, let me coax you, let me goad you into continuing to meet me here at this time, right? But some of us, we stop in the middle, and I get it, but you cannot die in the middle, because what you want wants you to. Your desires are not over the top. They're not, unless they are over the top. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The toxic stuff that we should not be doing as women, because we love to call them in now, but there is some toxic femininity too, y'all. I'm just going to say that, because right is wrong is wrong.
I don't know what happened. Something happened with my computer.
It's all good, y'all. We experienced some technical difficulties. Satan probably, who knows. But anyway, I think I was saying we were talking about the future wants you to. You can't die in the middle. The middle is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. However, God wired you for this thing. And along the journey, and this is gonna wrap us up. Along the journey, if you keep journeying, God will send you the help that you need to reach the destiny that you need to reach. Y'all seeing Talaya because he sent me a destiny helper. Y'all saw Nikki on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, you haven't seen the person who runs my blog. She lives in Kenya, but he's sending people, he will send people who are attracted to the destiny to help you get there. But if you don't continue moving, you don't continue obeying, you won't meet the help along the way. And it is only when you continue moving and moving forward that everything that was supposed to be added unto you is added unto you. What you got? What you got? Some closing thoughts?
My closing thought, this, with the people that are coming along, be open to receive them and be okay if you have to let go of others. However, give yourself permission to grieve the letting go.
Absolutely.
And be vulnerable enough to trust that the new spaces in one of those connections, you can talk about whatever that grief is.
Yeah.
But be open.
Yeah.
Be open.
Yeah. And what you just said, that moving along, it just reminded me of something that I said to myself yesterday. I submitted final grades recently, and y'all know I still I ain't gonna mess up my makeup because I got something to do. But I submitted my final grades, and I said, "This is it." And I said to myself, "Congratulations." But then my next thought was, "But you must realize that sometimes graduating means letting go." And so even in the moment of congratulations, you're about to step into your next season, there is still attached to the grief of you still having to let go of something that wasn't horrible, but was over for you.
Yeah.
And you got to be okay with graduating, but understanding that your graduation may mean you lose something. And y'all seen me grieve this whole year. We don't have to recap it. Y'all didn't seen it. Y'all didn't see me cry, spinning far, looking like everything I've been through. But it's coming to an end very swiftly. By the time this airs, we'll probably be 30 days out. It's coming to an end very swiftly for me. And so when you said that, be okay with the grief of it, you do have to be okay, because the moment you try to spiritual bypass that, let me just hyper spiritualize this. No. This is a human experience. This ain't spiritual. This is your humanity. You're hurt. Your feelings are hurt. Your heart is hurt, right? And the moment you try to do that, it's going to show up. It's going to come back up, because grief have unfinished business. So it's just a good idea to go ahead and let it out in that season when you need to let it out, so that you can move on and receive the help that you need. Because I don't think, if I was at a place where I was still like hemorrhaging from friendship betrayals or whatever it is, people letting me down, I would not be able to receive my help. I would not be able to receive genuine people saying, "Hey, yeah, what you need?" And I would probably be like, what you want from me? You know what I'm saying? If I hadn't done that, my work, who sent you? You know what I'm saying? You do gotta kind of think like, okay, guys, this is what we're supposed to be doing. But I would not be open to say, understand, or even discern, no, this was a destiny helper sent to help me to the next season. And I had to grieve those relationships that I lost over the years, and they sucked. Yes, I hated it. Them was my girls. But God is literally staffing me in real time with people who can not only hold up my arms like Ben and Ur did in the Bible for Moses, I think, but also people who are like, I genuinely just want to connect with you. Genuinely. Yeah. Let's just be open to however it's going to be. And I appreciate that. And so I agree with you, girl. I agree. So do you got anything going on that you want to tell the folks about? What you got?
She how you picked up on some things with serving, Briana kind of taught me, there's some fruit in teaching, and if it's in you, it's going to come out when it's supposed to, in the lane it's supposed to come out in. So like I mentioned, I am a fashion designer, and on May 30th, I am releasing an e-course on how to sew a particular button up in my aesthetic with color blocking, with a lot of details, and it walks you step by step with video. And if you are hearing impaired, you will get copy on how to actually sew this shirt. So May 30th. So sign up at talayajessie.co and you can register to be notified when the e-course is released.
Definitely, y'all. We'll put all that information in the show notes. Go ahead and support her. We need some kingdom fashion designers out here. When I get my coins right, hey girl, when I get my money right, because we do need to pay people what they're worth. Period. Okay, because we be liking to cut corners in the kingdom sometime. But when I get my coins right, hey, I need to let me stop. Let me get out this. I'm gonna show out. And then you're like, see, that's why I don't let you go nowhere now. I can't take you nowhere. We would be sure to drop all her information in the show notes. Talaya, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast. I don't take it lightly.
Thank you, girl.
I definitely appreciate it. Do you have any socials you want to shout out or anything?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at Talaya_Jessie. You can follow me on YouTube at Talaya Jessie Designs, where I kind of do like tutorials and weekly videos on different things I make. I'm over on TikTok, just talking and cutting up sometimes. And sometimes we crying over at TikTok, okay? Like I said, I'm vulnerable. I like to cry now. So you can follow me at Talaya Jessie Designs on all platforms. And yeah.
All right, y'all, you have seen her now, and I know this won't be the last time you've seen her, y'all. I hope you all have enjoyed this installment or this month series focusing on womanhood, but specifically enjoyed this segment on better together, because women, we need each other. It's not okay that we're separate. We really need one another to pull on strength, but also to help each other make it into the future, regardless of where we are in life. And so I want to encourage you to connect with people who you know that God is urging you or pushing you or encouraging you to connect with. Do it before this month is over, and you probably got one day left to do it. But I will see you soon in another installment of the Book of Briana. Be sure to like, share, and comment under the segment. I'll talk to you soon, y'all. Bye.